Hello everyone, and welcome back from lunch. I hope lunch was good. The talk's gonna be better, I promise. So today we'll be talking about jars of money, or as investors call it, strings attached to your business and to your life and to your everything. So today I have here with me Teodor Scorpan. Teo is the founder of Baro, and he's going to talk to us today about how he raised investment and how the process was of raising investment, and maybe give us some advice about what to look after when we pick an investor, what troubles we might find ourselves into. Overall, some things he may not be able to say, so you can ask him, but he probably is going to say that thing's confidential, I cannot disclose that. So, brace yourselves for this answer. That doesn't mean you cannot ask the question. So please ask questions throughout the presentation and at the end. If you want to ask a question, just raise your hand. I'll pass over the mic and you can jump in at any time. Now, I think we're going to try to have this as a dialogue here on stage, and obviously with your help too. So, like I said, ask questions, interrupt us. Stand up and say, wait. That doesn't sound real. Like, what do you mean you got money from some people you didn't even know last week? So I'm going to start by asking Teo to introduce himself, and after he introduces himself, tell us a little bit about Baro, which is his startup, so you guys have a better understanding of the context of what he actually does all day. So Teo, please.
Yep. My name is Teodor, and I'm the founder of Baro. Baro is a tool that automates Facebook ads specifically for publishers. Usually publishers have a presence online. By publishers I mean like Forbes, Cosmopolitan. They have a presence online, and this is a very important source of traffic for them. And there are a lot of opportunities that needs investments to be done in the content to get a lot more exposure. So that's where our tool comes in. Basically, automates the launching of campaigns and the management of those Facebook campaigns.
I just want to clarify something here. Teo, can you tell the audience if this was your first startup or not, or like what your background is before Baro, a little bit, just in a few words?
Yeah, so as I guess all entrepreneurs, I had a lot of startups, about 5 of them. How I came up with the idea for Baro, I was working for a mobile app. I was building a mobile app, and I needed an automated system to do the promotion on Facebook. And there was a tool. It was called usetoro.com. So this is what it basically did. It automatically promoted your mobile app. Eventually, I failed with the mobile app. And this idea for that tool stayed with me, and I also decided to build it because that tool was bought by Google and eventually closed it, so I couldn't use it for my other projects. So that's how I built Baro. And initial version for Baro was promoting mobile apps. But I started in Chisinau, in Republic of Moldova. By the way, I'm from Republic of Moldova. So we had very few clients, and usually for this type of tools, you have to have like really specific clients with a bigger budget, which Moldova lacks. So we had a hard time. Eventually, we pivoted and we've reached where we are.
Okay, so we could say that you have experience in startups, that you've tried this before, and then somehow Baro came along. Now, my question, because we're trying to talk today about also how it is to raise investment, what happens after, but also the relationship between investment and your accelerator. And yes, sir. Have you been in an accelerator? And how was that for you?
Yep. I've tried the first accelerator I tried was in Republic of Moldova, the first accelerator or incubator. It was my first experience. I couldn't compare with no accelerator, so it was good. But here's the story how I ended up with to meet the investors and how I ended up in Spheric. It started in 2016 at the startup competition Techsylvania. You guys heard of it? We didn't win the competition. We failed it. But the organizer, they organized a banquet, like a hall or a banquet in the evening
where we
for
drink
all
and
the
eat
founders.
afterwards.
Yeah, where you drink. And that's where the investor came to me and said, hey, you know what? I didn't know he was the investor, by the way. He said, hey, you know what? I think I have 2 companies that might use your tool. And I said, okay, but you really get used to it, because when you go to different competitions, because we were in Bulgaria, we were in Ukraine, in Moldova, we participated, and you hear a lot of stuff like that. So I said politely, okay, fine, give me your business card. So eventually, yeah, he did what he promised. He introduced me to those companies. Those 2 companies were Upswing and Elephant.ro. So the deal with Elephant didn't go through. Those guys are really cocky. So, but we did manage to work with Upswing, which is Freeburg's Capital, a company from their portfolio. So since I think June 2016, we started to work with them up until December. So basically, we worked with them. We did a lot of mistakes, but we solved a critical issue for them, this automation, because it took a lot of time, a lot of manual work, and they really needed our tool. And this is, by the way, very important to find initial clients that really can excuse a lot of your mistakes, because at the beginning you really do a lot of mistakes. So you have to have this type of customers at the beginning, because you can build a product with them or on their back, piggyback on them. So in December, I decided to come to Bucharest to do some sales for a week, because here are a lot more opportunities than in Chișinău. And I thought, okay, let's meet with the guy that introduced me to those companies. That guy is Dan Sturza. He eventually forgot about me. And I said, hey, do you remember you introduced me to those 2 companies? And then he, yeah. Well, I work with them until now, and they are paying me money. And he was surprised, and that's how everything started. Like he said, okay, if those guys pay you money, then... And it started. And in January 2017, the interest started. I mean, the whole process started. Then they introduced me to Spheric Accelerator. They told me this is like organized by them also, and you have to join because you can benefit a lot from them. And in June, we've joined the Spheric Accelerator. So.
I don't want it to sound too oversimplified, you know, like it was like done was, okay, so these guys gave you money, then I'll give you some. So it didn't actually work out exactly like that. So you joined Spheric, and you had already begun, let's say you had already a relationship with your future to be investor. But had you already begun discussions about them proposing or you asking for an actual investment at the time you joined Spheric?
If I asked for investments while I was in Spheric?
Yeah, no, if there was some kind of discussion about investment before you joined Spheric. So
yeah.
There was a discussion before that.
Like
Okay, and did they ask to see anything during the time you were in the Spheric program? Like, were they looking at any kind of KPIs, at any kind of numbers? Or was it more like just see if something comes out of it?
Sure. They introduced to their network of companies. They also introduced us to eJobs, which became one of our clients. eJobs told Imobiliare, which became another of our clients. And that was a good KPI for them, I guess. They were really impressed. So.
Okay. So one client to another.
Yeah.
You got to have a portfolio soon.
Yeah.
Okay. So apart from the discussion you already had with the investor, how was the Spheric experience for you? I mean, just the acceleration program, sort of. Where did that help with your product? How did that go for you? Or how much of an impact, basically, did you make out of that?
It's totally different than the one in Moldova. It's completely different. It's a lot better. The best thing about Spheric was the mentors. And one of them is here, Alex Burciu. Maybe Mircea too, but I don't see. So they're really awesome guys. They really dedicate their time. If you have questions, like you go and you can brainstorm with them like for hours. So this is really amazing. And at the beginning, usually you have times when you start to wander around, like what to do, where to go. And the mentors can really put you on a path. Might not be the right path, but they put you on a path, you test one path, and then you move to another one, and so on. So that was very helpful.
Okay, that's good insight. Can you tell us also about the actual investment raising? So now we're getting closer and closer to the money, and everybody's like, okay, get to the money part. So about the investment part, how long did it take, let's say, before I don't know if it was like a question day one, do you want money? Or you said, I want money. Or how long did it take until you started talking about it, till you actually sealed the deal?
We started talking when we met, when I met Dan Sturza in January.
Okay.
In December. So that's where we started. I said, we are not self-sustainable, so that's why we cannot focus full time. So we might need some money so we can focus fully on developing the product. And that's how we started. We didn't have an actual sum of money in mind, an approximate we had, of course.
For the Tesla and the yacht and yeah.
So yeah.
So if you were to put like a time span on it, was it months, days, weeks? How long did it take? Like
I guess months. But we, as far as I understood, we were the first one from their digital Fribourg digital capital. I think we were the first company they invested in. So it was a kind of like a first experience for them as well. I guess the next companies should be, the process should be a lot faster.
Okay, there is a question. Just a second, I'll come over. So, okay, yell it out.
What's the return that your investors asked for? What return on investment rate did you?
Well, as a rule of thumb, they want 5x, I guess, 5x, 10x. But they don't tell you like, we want like 5x in 3 years. I mean, they mean it, but no, the relationship is really nice. I mean, they put a lot of indirect pressure on you. So they give you freedom. I don't know, it's like psychological thing. Like you look at them, they're fine, but you are stressed, you know.
Okay, now this is the most laid-back talk about money I've ever had. So, okay, you look at them and they're not stressed and you are. So did they have their 5x or 10x t-shirts when you went to meet them? That's how you knew? Or how exactly did you end up kind of knowing this stuff? Was there a prep meeting? Did the accelerator prep you? Did you look online? Like, I mean, you go into a meeting with an investor, you're not going to go like, well, I'm meeting this guy to ask him for money. Let's not prepare at all for the meeting and just see how it goes. Or how did you actually prepare to have the money talk? Did you read anything? Did you research anything? Who told you what to say, what not to say? Was there some kind of prepping involved?
I'll be honest.
Please do.
It was my first time, so.
Yes, we've all had those.
So, yeah, you read on the internet and you inform yourself, but it's completely different when you when you do it. So, I was the main thing I wanted to be aware is to be attentive the papers I signed. They said everything else I wanted to like go like a flow, you know, just to talk with them, see what they offer. I'll ask for some, see what share they want from me. It's a negotiable. I mean, you just talk and.
So there's two things. First, there's, let's say, the talking about it part. Like you want to talk to them, see how they are, see what they say, see how flexible they are, you know, kind of get to feel them out. And then there's the actual paperwork part where you have to look at the fine print and read it twice and, you know, so on and so forth. Exactly. So on the, let's call it on the soft skills part, it kind of falls to everyone to figure out who's sitting next to you at the table. Like, is that person nice or not so nice?
Yeah.
How does he... Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so the thing here is very important, I forgot to tell you, is really to make a research on your investors. It's really important in what they invested in, what companies do they have, and if your company fits into their portfolio. Because it's really, really amazing if they have maybe similar products or in kind of the same industry or from the same category. For example, our tool is a SaaS, and they have a SaaS in their platform, which the CEO of that company, he's my mentor, and this is the most amazing stuff. I mean, if I fail with this startup, the things he teaches you is just amazing because he went through all of this. Like he was also a startup starting from zero, and now he's a multi-million-dollar company, and like you can listen to him for hours. So that's one amazing part, doing research on your investors, if they can actually help you. Because if they give you the money, there's a point you don't know what to do with the money. He has to open you the doors at the beginning. He has to give you some initial clients. He has to help you with this one. So this is very important. Just taking the money, I don't think it's a good choice, a good decision.
So Theo was basically describing what's called smart money. So you don't just take money from anyone who's willing to hand it out, because there will be some people who just give you money and then just, you know, ride you like a pony. You take money from those people that you see they have a portfolio of companies. They have an actual interest. Maybe they're aligned with you on a, let's say, personal level. Like you like football and they like football. Maybe that helps at some point because you'll end up going through the roller coaster and ups and downs. And you know, you do want to have some kind of a friend sort of next to you and not somebody who's just gonna slash the whip even harder when you're having a hard time.
Exactly, and this social soft skills, as you call them, is also very important. How you get along with them, because they will kind of be part of your company. You will have to meet with them at least once a month. So you have to get along with each other. You have to understand each other. You have to be on the same wave.
Sounds like a relationship. So moving back to, so we've talked about soft skills and we mentioned the word smart, the phrase smart money. Now, you mentioned that you were very careful about the paperwork. You wanted to be very careful about what you sign. So did you just go home like we all go with that, you know, bank contract when you get a loan and be like, man, this thing's long and it's in minor size fonts, I'm not going to read this? Or did you go home and you were like, I can buy a magnifying glass, I don't mind, you know, I'll buy a magnifying glass and I'll read every single dot in it. How did you go about that? And like a follow-up question, did anybody assist you in doing that? Did you get a lawyer? Did you get a friend? Did you get, I don't know, someone?
Yeah, so I wanted to read every dot and point because as I told you, it was my first time. So I've read it myself. And I hired 2 lawyers from Republic of Moldova. I asked my parents to do that. So I gave the contract to them to analyze it. And another law firm, and this is very interesting, from the mentor, my mentor, the CEO of SEO Monitor, by the way. That's the SaaS platform also from their portfolio. The mentor told me, I will help you with the contract as well. So he gave it to a lawyer to analyze it from my point of view, not from the investor's point of view, but from my point of view, if everything is okay. So it was a really, really long contract. I don't remember the number of pages, but it was long.
And did you go back to your investors with a list of
Exactly.
of suggestions?
Exactly, and they are really open to this, because usually you don't want some. I think there was a point, by the way, saying something about that they can ditch me whenever they want. That was a point in the contract. But they said it's okay, it's a template. So that's how they said it. So they took it off right away. I mean, was no discussion about that. So yeah, if things are reasonable, I mean, they are open to changes.
Okay, so you're saying investors are human beings, right?
Exactly.
Okay, that's nice. Okay. Sorry, I read a follow-up question. So, yeah, okay. Was there any? So you mentioned about the process that there was a bit of going back and forth. Was there any? I'm gonna call it drama about it. Like, was there anything you guys actually had to go head-to-head on? Like, I want 20%. No, you get 2. I want 50%. No, you get 1. And you know that thing happens. Okay, I'm going home. Okay, we'll call you. And boom, the meeting's over. Did anything like that? Maybe don't go into specifics, but did that happen?
Yeah, that happened. And about the shares, and I had a really unusual situation when we were discussing, like when we are actually doing the paperwork. My first co-founder left the company. He was young and he had to go to university to do college. So he actually chose to do that one instead of joining the startup. And it was in the middle of these discussions, and investors a little bit capitalized on it, and they wanted to capitalize a bit more. So that's when the drama started. But we figured out, we made a deal that everyone is happy. Because usually you do these deals, like the entrepreneur has to be happy and the investor has to be happy. If at least one of them is not happy, things is not going to work.
Okay, now we're not going to go into contract negotiation skills on this talk, like when you push back, when you pull, when you just stop and take a break and stuff like that. I'm going to ask straight up, did you get all the money at once?
Yes, because I think it's required by the law in Romania. Like, you have to receive the investments during the first 30 days or something like that.
Okay, keep that in mind when you negotiate your investment. And the follow-up question would be, what did you do with the money?
Invested in product development. That's the main thing.
Okay, can you be a bit more specific? Like, either you hired people or you hired an agency to do marketing, you found a freelance designer, I don't know. Give us some bullet points as to what can you do? Like, what can you do with the money? And how much of it was it agreed upon upfront with the investor? Like, how much freedom did you have and how much did you have to stick by the book?
Yeah, so the biggest cost is salaries. That's the biggest cost. That's what burns our money even now, the salaries. They give you freedom to spend it however you want. They do not check you. It's even weird for me. I bet they have some like SMS messages when you take a lot of money from the bank account, because it's way too free. I mean, you can do whatever you want and spend it however you want. They just want the results.
Sorry, can you share the number of employees so that we can understand the size of the...
Right now, I have one sales guy helping me. It's me, one sales guy, and 4 Russians that help me with development. It's. I tried. No, I don't suggest Chinese guys. Ukrainians are good. Russians are good.
Romanians are expensive.
I tried to hire Romanians, but I couldn't find them. Really, and the easiest way for an entrepreneur, for me, for example, was to go on Upwork. On Upwork, because I'm a developer as well. On Upwork, you go, you give him a task, and you can see right away how he's doing, if he's good or not, and you can easily hire. So I posted, offers came in, just tested, and selected the ones that look great. I worked with the Ukrainian guy. He wanted to join the company, but he wanted the salary that he earns working on Upwork. He wanted that salary. But if I hire him and pay him that salary, in Romania you pay like 76 salary tax, which is way over the top. So it's a win-win. I pay the money he wants, and it's at the level I want. I mean.
So you work under Romanian regulation?
Yes. The company's here. That's a requirement, by the way, from the investor.
When you took the money, how much? What's the time? When do you want to raise the next round of money?
Not thinking about it.
So you're not thinking about
The next round, yeah, no.
So you have enough money,
Yeah.
right?
No, it's really difficult to spend them wisely. Because we spend on salaries. For example, the other cost we have was server costs, the infrastructure cost, and that's a bonus from Spheric Accelerator they gave us, which I think it can cover almost 2 years of not paying to Amazon nothing. So the only cost we have is salaries and maybe some promotions if we reach a level or we feel the need to promote the product more widely.
How much did you grow after you ended up in the accelerator? In percentages or 2 times, 3 times? What's the revenue now before you started? Comparison.
I would not answer this question.
Okay. Okay, so you're not. We won't be taking the revenue question. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna.
During this Spheric, we've grown about 8 times. 8 times
So
during this Spheric, yeah.
Yeah, 8 times
But
growth
that's
during
when
the
the
accelerator.
most of our main clients came in. The biggest clients is during that period.
Okay, you mentioned you meet your investors once a month. You said something like that. You have to talk to them once a month. But how involved are they in day-to-day operations, except the once a month meeting?
Well, they are not involved in day-to-day operations, and I don't think they have to be. It's really good with the mentor. With the mentor, we meet like every week or maybe twice a week, ask for feedback regarding product strategy, whatever. But with the investors, you usually meet once a month to talk more strategically. How is the progress in general? Where the product is moving, where it's heading, what are the plans? That's the main things. They are not involved in day-to-day operations, what we do, whom did I hire, what did we develop, what features did we add. They're not interested in that.
Okay, you mentioned the investment fund, or actually your VC, your person of contact, sort of helped you get some clients, right?
Yep.
Like post the investment, did they keep pushing? Did they keep being as helpful, getting customers as they were before, or they kind of like left it up to you, like we gave you the money, we gave you some starting clients, now you go out and do it? Or are they still actively helping you get customers, still giving you their network and so on?
Yes. So on the sales side, with bringing clients, they're really, really active. That's what they are actually open to do and really asking from me. Okay, what else do you want? Give us a list of clients from Romania that you want to get in touch with, or give a list of clients because they have a presence with their companies in UK, in Turkey, in the United States. So give us a list of clients from that country. Give us a list. So they're really open to this. By the way, it's really interesting. for example, the SEO monitor, the guy that's the mentor, they already have a network of clients, of advertising agencies, which might be our client in the future. So this is really interesting if you can research the companies that your investors has invested in, that you might piggy bank on those clients as well. They can upsell to their clients your product. So you can grow extremely fast, like in a very short period of time.
So just to go back a little bit, did you start your mentorship with the SEO Monitor CEO or founder? Did you start that? That was pre-investment, right? Or post-investment?
Post-investment.
So
He started to be actively after the investment.
That was something that the accelerator kind of like made it happen somehow for you?
Probably.
Okay.
Don't know the details, but probably, yeah.
So could you have made it so far without the money?
No.
Okay, short answer. I'm actually going to.
It depends on the startup. Maybe there are startups that can be self-sustainable at the beginning, so you can work your way through. I'm pretty sure there are startups like that. In our business model, we couldn't. We need a lot more clients to make some revenues to be sustainable. But if your startup is like that, then you can go a longer period of time without investment, I guess.
So did you have a plan B? Like, let's say money doesn't come in. Did you have any kind of plan B?
No.
Should I take that as a no?
I was just doing the thing I was doing. I participating in startup competitions. And do sales. What else can you do? Or search for another investor. We were not actively searching for investments. We were actively searching for clients. So that's why we wanted more exposure, because we had already a product. We were participating in those startup competitions just to get exposure and maybe find some clients. We find some clients in Ukraine. We found a game development company, which we worked a while with them. So that was really helpful. We also did a lot of sales, email sales, phone sales, which is zero result. We didn't have any success. So yeah, that was our another acquisition channel, let's say so. We had a blog. Now it disappeared. But we had a blog, and we gained a lot of clients from the blog, where we were writing about how to optimize Facebook ads, how to automate them, and how to automate using our tool. So that's what we were doing before investment. So I guess we would keep doing that.
Okay. So after you got the investment, did let's say you were sort of part of their portfolio, maybe let's call it part of a club of startups that they invested in. How much, except for the mentorship with SEO Monitor, how much did you interact with the other startups? How much help did you get from them? So not just the one company, not SEO Monitor. Was there any kind of interaction with the rest of the portfolio companies?
Yes. I don't know if you guys know the story of SEO Monitor. At the beginning, they were an advertising agencies, then they divided. They made a SaaS platform and an advertising agency called Upswing. So we've interacted with Upswing a lot because they work directly with all the publishers from Romania. So that was our main client. So that's why we interacted with Upswing a lot. They introduced us to publishers like Forbes, like Wall Street, and all the famous publishers in Romania. We also got another meeting with the elephant. So they gave us another try, which is a different story, of course. They are really, really sophisticated technology-wise, so we couldn't offer something unusual for them.
So it's still on the
It's
warm
still-
lead list, right?
Exactly. And this is a good thing because you have access to all their companies. Free access, like you can go and meet with them and talk and solve their problems if they have problems.
So after you got the money, let's say, did this happen? You were talking to someone who knew you got the investment and they were like, okay, you could have gotten a better deal from someone else. Did you ever hear that? Did that ever happen to you? So somebody saying maybe you should have looked more around or stuff like that?
A mentor deal, if they got
A better deal. I mean,
better
if you spoke to someone and he said, we could have given you a better deal, or you could have gotten a better deal.
We actually got from Republic of Moldova a deal for here we got 80,000 euros. We were offered in Republic of Moldova 200,000 euros. But those guys, they had no investment before. They were just rich guys. That's it. They didn't know what to do with the money, so. And we refused because we didn't know what to do with the money too. So.
I think they already have another round easily coming to them. Okay. Yes, that was the next question. So I mean,
I think it's very dangerous to take money from those guys. Because if you take and they are not really into this, you know, they might not understand you. They might not understand your issues if you have issues, because you will have a lot of roadblocks, and he has to understand you, and he understands you if he really invests. Because really, it's not about the 80,000 we received. That's the value is more into the network. That's a huge value. 80,000 is nothing.
I think with the Russian investors, 10x is not optional. It's not depending on the market. Okay, so do you get people asking you?
Sorry again. And I think you'll understand this value when you'll try to make sales. When you'll try to knock on the door and the door doesn't open or it closes right into your face, because who are you, you know? That's when you start to value the network. That's really important.
So now that you've got an investment and you'll say you're close in with the venture.
Sorry,
with the
man, I
VCs.
have to touch this one more time.
Okay, go ahead.
When you send emails and those guys don't, it's really demoralizing. You send emails, they don't open, because you can judge by yourself. You know, like you receive hundreds of emails from some, you usually delete them. But maybe there's a startup guy that wants business with you, you know? So, you know, you start to value this a lot more when you start facing this, when it's really difficult to get hold of someone to accept your deal or to do business with you.
I think anybody in the room got an investment already? Does anybody have VC money in the room? Okay, one person. I think for maybe many people in the room who cannot relate to the sales problem, it sounds weird to say that you've gotten, you know, so many tens of thousands of euros, but still it's not about the money, which is tricky to kind of maybe understand and feel that. But it is true. I mean, you can spend 80,000 euros and not land any one customer, and your head will probably explode from the pressure that you cannot land one customer. And then somebody comes and says, oh, I know that guy. Let me call him. And he picks up the phone and he's like, hey man, I've got someone here you really got to talk to this guy. And he's like, sure, come on, give me his number. You're like, what the hell just happened? You know, that's how the network works. We've been colleagues during the Spheric program, and I can vouch that that's how the network works. We didn't get investment, don't worry. He's the only money guy on stage. But we did see the power of the network and opening doors and going into a meeting with a guy that's into finance and then getting the contact of a guy who's in car rentals because they just know each other. You know, so it's kind of, it's interesting. Okay, so my question was, and I think after that I'm going to open it to the audience, so maybe think about some questions you might have. Now that you're part of this club of people who've gotten investment, do you get people come to you asking you to help them get investment?
I had only one asking for
Not me.
advice. And it was referred from Spheric. He was, I guess he first contacted Spheric, and Spheric sent it to me. A guy from Impact Hub from Bucharest.
Okay, so you don't have a line of people outside your
No.
office waiting
No.
to. Okay, cool. That's nice. Okay, we have like about 8 minutes left, so I'd like to open it up to questions. Who's got a question for Teo?
Go ahead.
It's okay. It's okay. What program language you use for
Yeah, our backend is built on Python. We use Django, Django REST framework, and on front end we use Vue.js.
I have one simple question. What's next for you? You said that you don't want any money. What's next? How much or how bigger do you want to get?
Oh boy. As big as we can grow. I try everything. Everything that comes to me, I just get everything.
How can you grow if you don't want to hire more people to sell?
We are hiring. We recently hired that sales guy. We took him from Viam, if you know this software server hosting company, Viam. It's a Russian company too, by the way. We took him from there. We're constantly looking. I'm constantly looking for developers because it's a lot better when you have a developer helping you next to you, working with him than just outsourcing. I bet if more work, because I think I do everything more like, let's say, with the feeling. If I feel that I need another sales guy, I'm looking for it. Because right now I need one for sure. I need help from one because I cannot handle everything right now. Because I talk with the sales guys, with the clients. They have some issues. I have to solve the issues in the back end. So I definitely need, and somebody has to do the sales. Somebody has to go to meet with the clients. So that's time consuming. So right now I definitely need one. I guess you'll have the feeling when you'll need more.
I have a question, basically his question is in a different way. What would make you happy to reach in 2 years? Not 1 year, 2 years from now.
Two years from now?
2 years from now.
To raise a second round
Okay.
of $5 million.
Valuation, so you are aiming for a valuation of in the
No, I'm not. I didn't.
No, what would make you? You are a dev guy, you have a business background as well. How big do you want to get in 2 years? In people or business?
Well, realistically, we've thought about that and analyzed the market and the potential. And our business has the potential to about tens of millions, something like that. It's not really huge, but well, compared to the hundreds of millions and unicorns and stuff, we're pretty modest. We're
Unicorn.
cockroaches.
Do you have any competition?
Of course, yeah. But it's really for publishers because we are a tool for advertisers because we advertise Facebook. So you can compare us with Ad Espresso. It's a very famous platform. Maybe you've heard of it. And there are more platforms like that, but they focus on different stuff. They put more emphasis on something else. We put more emphasis on publishers because we found that this market is not satisfied enough. We found an issue there. So we've more customized, personalized the product for their needs.
And when you say market, Moldova, Romania, and Italy?
Of course, outside. One of our biggest clients is from Canada, a Canadian publisher. Urbania, by the way, I don't know if you've heard. It's the biggest one for millennials. That's what they are known for. They're really techy. They are a very small team, and they use like hardcore. They use tools, only tools, because they're a small team and they want everything to be automated. So that's how they even found us from Canada. So yeah, we don't have limits, but we still think like Canada because we took as an advisor that Canadian guy, the chief of that publishing. He's our advisor, and he will help us with the Canadian market. And we are looking into UK as well. UK through SEO Monitor, because they have a good presence in UK. And we plan to, as I said, to sell as a bundle their platform together with our. And they are penetrating right now the US market. So again, piggy bank on them maybe.
Yes. Do you think about to open an office in the future, maybe?
Why not?
I mean, you have many projects, you can some people are approaching you. What would you help you out?
Probably. Because I think it's cheaper, the workforce. Compared to United States, for example. So
Okay.
Moldova is the cheapest, but Moldovians come here usually.
So they become
So I found
expensive.
it here.
Yeah.
So they become expensive again. Yeah.
One more question over there.
I have that question. According to the contract, does the investor own the company, or he has just a stake in it? I mean, what happens if you want to sell first?
He does not own the company. He has the stake. He has his number of shares, and every decision like this, it's done in a consensus, I think. Consensus is the correct word?
Yeah.
So you do a meeting and you vote probably. We haven't done this yet, but
Obviously.
yeah, but it's like that. They cannot ditch me or sell the company or
Yeah,
without my.
consensus.
Mhm.
Okay. We're gonna wrap it up here. I'd like you guys to give a big applause to Theo for
Thank you.
sharing stuff. And he's here in the front row. Like, if you have more questions and stuff, please approach him. That's what the breaks are for. Thank you very much.